Hello guys, it's Code Duchess. Welcome back to my channel. On this video, I'll be teaching you how to create this cinematic view. I'll be teaching you the front end, while my partner Dap Mentors is going to be teaching you the back end and the Solidity. He's going to link this login button into a Solidity account. He's also going to show you how to upload videos and etc. So if you're here from Dap Mentors, welcome. Please like my channel to support me and follow me for more front ends. Thank you. We're going to head over to tailwindcss.com, click on Docs, Framework Guides, then click on Create React App because we are going to be using React for this website. We would be copying this first line of code, which would enable us to create a React app. Head over to our Visual Studio Code. In our terminal, we would paste this, but remove this name. The name of our project is VidTV, but you could name it whatever you want to name it, and click on enter. Now that it is installed, we will head over back and cd into the project, but this time we are not going to be using my project because we changed the name of the project. So we say cd vid tv. We are actually now in VidTV. We say npm start. At this point, our React app is working. We head over back to the Tailwind and copy this line of code. We are making use of Tailwind CSS for styling. Now that it's done, we copy this other code. What this code does is it initializes a Tailwind config file, which we would use to configure our template paths. And after this has created a tailwind.config.js, we are going to paste this so that the Tailwind is going to work, with our JS or JSX files. Afterwards, we will head over to our CSS and replace everything in the body with this. Lastly, we're going to copy this npm run start, kill our current terminal, and rerun npm run start. Head over back to our Tailwind CSS, copy this up, go to our app.js and replace this with it. There you go, our Tailwind is working fine. There are some files I would not be needing here. First off, this app.test.js is not needed. Report web vitals 2 is not needed. Setup test is not needed. App.css is definitely not needed. We head over to our index.js. Since we deleted this report web vitals, we will be removing it from our index.js. We also would want to install a library called React Route to DOM. So you say npm UI React router DOM. Now that is done installing, we would want to get some elements from the React router DOM and wrap our React strict mode. So what this React router DOM basically does is it helps wraps the parent component, which is this React strict mode, all around the other components related to routing. It also keeps your UI in sync with the URL. It just basically helps the static website keep everything in check. We would also head over to our app.js. There we're gonna introduce the routes and route. In our app.js, we would want to remove this completely and say routes. Bring it from React routes or DOM. Then inside the routes, you would have a route. It's from React route to DOM as well. So what this routes and route does is it defines the navigational path. This routes component acts as a parent component to all the route components, each specifying a path accessing pages that should be rendered when the application's URL matches the path. So I want to match this path to an element. And for this element, it's going to be home page. We would have to create a home page. In our SRC folder, I'll create a pages folder. In here, I'll say home.jsx. I would like to bring in my React arrow function export components. If you don't know what this is, it's probably an extension that helps you just, create export components much more easier and faster with a click of a button. I head back to my app.js and I'm going to import my home page. Let's check the browser. So our home is viewing here. I would also want to rename this to JSX. I would like to create a components folder. Here we're going to be housing our components. In the components folder, I would like to create another folder called layout. In my layout, I'll create a file called layout.jsx, header.jsx, footer.jsx. In here, I would like to say RAFCE, RAFCE, RAFCE. We're going to close this up first. in my layout component, I would like to bring in the header and the footer. So here I would say header, and footer. I would also want to import them. And footer. In my layout, I would like to have a main in between here. This is where the rest of the pages go. Why I'm creating a layout is because I want this website to be kind of like uniform in all pages. We'll have what we call the children. Yeah, this children is for the rest of the pages, while the header and the footer is like the parent elements that's housing this pages. We go over to this home, change this to a layout, grab the layout from this component and check it on the browser. Let's give this a class of flex, and the flex should be column, minimum of h should be screen. Let's head over to the main, give it a class of flex grow. This way it's going to grow and take the space. As you can see, the body is taking this whole space, the footer is down, the header is up. I want to give this a margin top of 16. From the header, a padding of 4 on the smaller screen, then above the smaller screen, a padding of 8. It has a padding of 8 and a margin top of 16. I also want to give this above the smaller screen, it should always be auto for the MX. Max width should be 7XL and the weight should be full. Okay, that's kind of in the middle already. If I give this a background color of slate, you could see it's taking this whole space. It even has a pattern on its own, but I'm not going to be using this color yet, so I'm just going to remove it. Let's style this header. In my header, I want to give this a logo. So I have a div, I have another div in the div. I want to create this logo on the header, and this is coming from React icons. So I head over to my code and install React icons. Say npm I React icons. Head over to my browser, and in my browser, the icon we are looking for is a video. So this is the icon I used on the web page. I'm going to quickly copy this. Hopefully it's done installing. We are done installing React icons. So I will paste this here in a span tag. I'm also going to head over back to React icons and import this. Paste it over here. This div is going to be turned into a link tag because I want to link this logo to my homepage all the time. I also want to create a heading that would have the name of this website, in my case VTV. I want to give this a class of semi-bold. I also want to give this a class of flex, and my gap would be 2. Items will be center. Text is LG, but above smaller screens, text would be 2XL. So we're having an error. We forgot to import this link, so let's do that. Import link from React router done. So there it is. We want to give styling to this parent element. It should always be fixed, and it's fixed to the top. Give it a W full and a background color of 121926. Okay, we want to give this a text of slate 200 and a Z index of 50. Below this, I want to introduce my nav links. I would have a div and this div is going to have an unordered list. In my unordered list, I'm going to have a list. I'll duplicate this 3 times. The first one is going to be a link. And it's for the create page. Second one is movies. Third one is for series. Fourth one is for anime. I would have another link here. And this one is for account. On this website, it's only the create and the account that has pages. The rest are just dummy to fill in the space for this nav link, and that is why I decided not to put them in link tags, because they're linking to nowhere. Here I will say to create. Here I will say to account. This div that is housing both the logo and the nav, I want to give it a class. It should be flex. Justify is between. Max width is 7XL. MX is also. Let's check that out on the browser. Okay, looks good. I'm gonna give this a P of 4, PX of 8 as well. For our UL, I want to give this a class. It should be hidden on small screen but anything above the tablet view should be flex. Gap is 4. Font weight is medium. Looks good already. So if you notice, this logo has a green color, so we just want to add that to our own as well. So I head over back, give this a class of text green 500. We also want to add a button to this div, so we say button. This button is going to be login for logging in, and it's going to have a class name of bg green 500. Text is white. Rounded is full. Padding is 1. Then the minimum weight is 28. Check that out. Okay. Text is MD. This button is hidden on the mobile view, but everything above the tablet view, it should be displayed in a block format. Because our button is displayed in a block format with those nav links, we want to give this a flex. Items should be center. It should have a very big gap of 10. Okay, this look good. Now we're done styling our header. I would like us to style the footer so that we would be done styling the layout. We close up our header, head over to footer, and in our footer we would want to change this div here, this element, to a footer element. Remove this immediately. In here I want to have a div, and in my div I would like to bring in the logo, so I want to have another div as well in this div. Head over to my header, copy this up, go to the footer, paste. Beneath this I would want to have a p tag, and in my p tag I'm just going to quickly just copy this from here, paste. So if you could see an error popped up, we head over to the header and copy this too. We need to import it in the footer for it to work, and paste. In this div I would like to give it a w of 1/3. This p tag I would like to give it a class of text. Awesome. Check it out. Look good. For our main footer I will just quickly give it a background color of gray. Should be 800. BG should have an opacity of 75, which would make it a bit see-through than the regular 800. All the text should be slate 200. It should have a margin top of 20 above from the home. It should also have a padding of 6. and a rounded top of MD. It closes up. We want to create another div, and for this div we want to have our links. So we say div in here, we say h4 links, and we're gonna give this a class of text. Should be large, font should be bold, it should have a margin bottom of 2 because we're gonna bring in links beneath here. And for this one we will head back to our header, copy this on other lists down to the footer, and paste. You check that out, and our links is here. I would like to give this div right here a flex so that it could stay on one line to flex. But for the mobile, it should be flex column, and everything above awesome is flex row. You also want to give this a max weight of 7XL. Margin X should be auto. Justify is between, and above small screen items should be center. P is 4. Above small screen we do not want to have a padding. We will have a gap of 6 in the small screen. Above small screen there is no gap, so say gap 0. Okay, we also want to add one more thing beneath here, and that one is basically for contact us, and then we add a button, say div. Copy this h1 for the links, sorry, h4, change this to contact us. After that we want to have basically some contacts like email, say info at movie project. This is a dummy email, by the way.com. Then you gotta have another p tag for phone number, and just put a dummy phone number. Close this and check. Nice. We want to have another div here for the logo, basically this logo right here. This project is actually powered by Sia Foundation. They are a decentralized blockchain company that deals with storage, decentralized storage. So we are going to be getting this logo from our assets, and if you want to have access to all the images I use in this website, you head over to my GitHub. There you're gonna get each and every images in my assets folder. You're also going to have access to all the codes that I used in this folder in case you get stuck or have an error. I will pause this video and import my assets. I have imported the assets I'll be using in this video, and I would like to import it. So I'll go over here and say import Sia logo from assets / Sia icon .svg. We also come here and bring in our image tag. Change this to color braces. Say Sia logo. I also will have a p tag that says powered by Sia Foundation. Give this a class name of flex. Items center. Gap should be 3. Above the smaller screen, it should justify center. Empty is 10. Okay, this logo is too big, so I want to give this a class name of W should be perhaps 16 and H 16. That looks good already. Let's check the mobile view. Okay, looks good on the mobile view as well. These links are not visible in the mobile view because we copied it from the header. We would remove this hidden and this empty as well, and there you go, our links are visible. I think we should leave it this way. Let's put this in SM so that it's going to take the whole view. So we are done styling the mobile view for the footer. It looks better already. We can close this up and head over to the home. So in our home page, we have 3 components that makes up our home page. We have this first component, which is the banners, the second component, which is the posters, and the last one, which is the subscription. Go over here to the components and create a folder for home. Create a file for banners .jsx, posters .jsx, subscription .jsx. RAFCE, RAFCE, RAFCE. Close this up, we are not using them now. Close the app.jsx as well. Go over to the home and bring in the banners. Also bring in the posters. And lastly, we want to bring in the subscription. I want to create a data where I'll be storing the images and their descriptions, names of music, movies, etc. And I want to create a folder that's just gonna house just that. In my data folder, I would like to have a file for banners .js. I want to export banners so we can use it outside this. And for our first one, I'm gonna have an ID of 1, the name of the movie, which is redemption point, image, and we are getting this image from our assets folder. Say movie 1 from assets. It choose mv1 png. I say movie 1 release is for the date that this movie was released in 2024, January. Would be action, rating is gonna be parental guardian 13, language is English, duration will be 2 hours 15 minutes. Tagline is just gonna be a sentence that say when the past calls answer with vengeance. Background is going to be a city escape at ducks with a silhouette of a hero in the foreground. We will go on to have 5 other banners, but because this is gonna take a lot of time, I would like to head over to my GitHub repository. It's linked in the description below. In my GitHub repository, I'm gonna click on data, banners. I'll just copy this up quickly. And paste. I'm going to pause this video for you to copy this, but it's much more easier getting it from my GitHub. Now that you're done copying it, let's head over back to our banner. Let's create a state that keeps track of the current movie displayed on the banner. I'm saying current movie index. Here you say set. Paste this, change the C to capital, and we set it to 0. Make sure you're going to import this use state. Afterwards, we want to create a use effect that is going to be used for setting this interval, to make sure that this movie banner keeps changing. And we want to set this interval to every 5 seconds the banner should change. We also want to make sure that when it gets to the last banner, because we have only 5 movies in our banner, it's going to repeat itself. So we're going to set the interval to set interval. This is just keeping track of the current state of the movie. So you're saying it should watch this set current movies index, previous index. This is going to make sure that it's going to add another movie afterwards. So we're going to monitor the previous index and add it by 1 to make sure this loop keeps running. You're going to add this percentage to make sure this loop keeps running. Say movies dot length. Here we are now setting the interval to 5,000, which is equivalent to 5 seconds. Create a return. And this is returning clear interval. And we are setting this to interval. This clear interval actually prevents the memory from leaking by stopping the interval. You also want to make sure that this use effects basically run once after the initial render. Now we're done with the JavaScript codes for this. We want to have a class. We're gonna give this a BG to be cover. We also give this a style to start the background image to the banner. Here we say background image. You're bringing the backtick URL, and we will set this to movie dot image. We head over to our home and we want to create a use state for this movies. So here we're gonna say const movies, set movies equals to use state, and set the movies to an empty array. Here we say const movie is equals to movies. Here we are setting movie to the current movie index. What this movie equals to movie does is it makes sure that the movie that is showing on the banner is based on this current movie index. It makes sure that the movie that's showing on the banner is the particular movie that's supposed to be showing. You also have this class name, say bg cover. Then we also want to set our movie to the background image using the style element. And here we're saying background image is equals to backtick URL parenthesis movie dot image. We also want to set our banner, which is the one we're getting from the store, as movie. So you say import banners as movies from after we've set this movie and this movies to our banner, making sure that all the movies is coming from this banner. We want to continue styling this, so we're gonna give this a H of 72 and check if it's visible. So our movie is visible and it's changing every 5 seconds. We go back here and give this a width of 4. BG should be no repeat. Above smaller screens, the height should actually be 500 pixels. Flex items should be center. Transition opacity duration is 5 seconds. It is relative in position, and lastly has a rounded of 2XL. Cool. We are done styling these banners. We head over to our posters to style it as well. For our posters, we're gonna have posters in the data. We're gonna have a data for posters, and this data is going to be coming from my GitHub again. Click on posters, copy this up, and paste. In these posters, we are going to be making use of a swiping element. So first off, we say npmi swiper. You're gonna have a h1, which is gonna be the header. We want to go to the home page and bring in the movies that we're going to be making use of in this web page for the posters. So in my home page, I want to set movies. And we're going to set this first of all to an empty array. We also want to create a use effect, which is going to be used to fetch in these movies for the posters. Here is going to be our function, and you say const fetch movies data, and this data is going to be fetched from the posters. This is going to be an asynchronous function. Create an asynchronous function for the movies data. So you say const movies data is equals to posters. This posters is going to be coming from posters. So you say import posters from the data. I omitted an S here. This is posters. Then let's fetch this movie data. And here we're gonna add square brackets in order to avoid this function from running on and on when it's already rendered. We head back to the posters. We come over to posters. In here, this movies, we want to make this movies equal to movies, hereby making sure that the movie we are getting, once clicked on it, would send us directly to the particular movie's details. Below here as well, we want to set this movies to movies data. There, it's complete. So this use effect is used for fetching the particular movies. We are equaling this movie data to this posters, and we are setting these movies to the movie data that comes from these posters. I head over back to our poster, and in this component we want to add a header. So in our poster we want to say movies dot length less than 0, hot new, or no movies yet. So what this does is, if this movies is greater than 0, it should display hot new. Hot new should be displayed if this movie's length is greater than 0. If this movies can bring out some arrays of movie the header should be hot new movies. But if there are no movies showing, we should inform the viewers that no movies are showing yet. This H1 is going to have a text of white. Text is going to be extra large. Above the larger screen, text should be 3XL. Font should be semi-bold. Text should be at the center. And margin bottom should be 5. So I'm having an error because I forgot to define the movies in my poster, this movies in particular. So here it is. It's now defined as coming from this home page. Okay, we are not going to see the text because it's white in color. We are going to head over to our layout. Give this a background of black. Close the layout. There you go. You can see the hot new now. This div, we want to give it a margin top of 10 on smaller screen. Above the smaller screen, it should have a margin top of 20, giving it a big space between this hero and this header. After that's done, we want to be making use of the swiper component that we just finished installing. So you head over to our browser, say swiper/React. Click on the first one, and we have installed this. We want to copy this import from here and paste above here. We also want to be importing the autoplay, pagination, and margination. Autoplay, pagination, and navigation from swiper modules. So we copy this up, paste minutes here. We are not using the scroll bar, so we just remove this and add autoplay. So now, because the swiper attributes are much, we would like to copy it from my GitHub. You head over to my GitHub, home, posters, and there you could see how large the swiper is. So we will copy from this div that has the carousel container down to this. Copy it. So I have this autocon close tag. What's left for me is to close this div as well to end this error. Now we want to add this movie card that is swiping in the swiper. This is actually how the movie card looks like. We want to add these cards that are swiping on the swiper. So we will head over back to our code and create a movie card. So in our components, we want to create a component for shared components. In here, we'll say movie card.jsx. Bring in the RAFCE component here. And in our movie card, we want to bring in this movie. You want to give this a weight of W52, also height of H96. In our movie card, you want to give this a class. Change this to color braces and backtick. It should have a position of relative. I'm gonna bring in this first weight. And height. This enables us to change the width and height, you know, when we are bringing this movie card component. It allows us to make the width and height flexible. We want to give it a transform. Transform should have a transition, which is basically transition transform. Duration should be 5 seconds. Have a hover of rotate Y 180 and a crop. In here, I want to have a link tag. This link tag is going to link the cards to their respective pages. So I want to import the link from React router. Now my link is imported. I want to link it to backtick to a page called movies / then here I'm gonna say movie.slog. Here I want to have this image. I want to give it movie image, the movie.image. The alternative would be movie.name. Should have a fixed width of 400 and a height of 700. In my class name, I'll say weight is full, height is full, object is cover. Let's see if our movies are showing. Okay, they're not visible yet because we have not called in this movie card in our swiper. So in our swiper, we want to call this movie card. By doing that, we're gonna say movies dot length greater than 0. If this movie is greater than 0, what should happen is we want to map movies, and what we are mapping is one movie and an index. We're bringing our swiper slider. We have already imported this, so no need to re-import it. It's up there. And to set this key to I, And then we're gonna bring in our movie card. This movie card, we want to give this a weight of W, should be 52, rounded, should be 2XL. It should have a key of movie dot ID. This ID should be coming from this poster. This ID should make sure that they all have their unique individual keys, so that it's going to lead us to the particular page for each movie. Then we are setting movie to movie. Now that is done, our movies should be appearing on our page. When we hover on this movie, it brings on the movie detail, the name, the star, and etc. So we want to do that for our own as well. I want to have a big div. This div is going to have a class of absolute. Insect should be 0. BG should be black. BG opacity is 75. Okay. I'll give this an opacity of 0. Group hover. Should have an opacity of 100, thereby making sure when I hover upon it, it's gonna show the BG opacity, but if I don't, it should have a default opacity of 0. After this, I want to give this a text white and a P of 4. In here, we want to have a div. In this div, we want to have an icon, faster. It should be coming from React icon. Don't forget to import it. Give this a class of text. Yellow 500. We want to have a h3, and this h3 is going to have the movie name. And the date that this movie was actually released. This h3 is going to have a class on its own with the text LG, and font should be bold. Below this h3 should have a p tag with movie background. Let's check that out. So they're saying this movie is not defined. Let's go above a code and check. Okay, I did not spell this movie well, because actually this movie is defined here. It looks good already, but we could make it better. I also want to complete the codes in this parent element by giving this a transform. I actually want this to have this kind of like a transition when you hover upon it, it should have a duration of 3 seconds, and the type of transition I'm looking for is easing out. So as you can see, it's having a transition of ease in out. Before we go ahead and style the subscription, let's add a menu to this header and close everything up. In the shard, we want to create menu.jsx. RAFCE in my header, in between this button and this nav links. I want to bring in my menu from shared menu. Don't forget to import it over here. Close this header, and for my menu I want to have a state to check if this menu is opened or not. So you say is open, set is open. It's going to be equals to use state. We are setting this to be false initially, not false. It should be false. We also want to have a state for toggle menu. This state is going to check if the menu is open or not. It's also going to toggle the menu open and close. So you say set is open to not open to. And here we want to have a simple console.log message which is going to be displayed, letting us know that our menu is now open. It's also going to be telling us if the menu is closed as well. So say menu is now open or close. Now that is done, in this div I want to have a button that I'm going to be using to toggle open and close this menu. In here I'll say, is this menu open? If this menu is open, I want to have a close icon, which is coming from AI outline, sorry, close. You also want to have one again for if this menu is open. We're getting it from the AI outline menu. You also want to give this button on click. That's when you click this button, it should toggle the menu. Let's check that out. So our button is not visible yet. Let's give this a text of green 500. So guys, this is not yet visible because this icons are actually not in a tag. silly me. So I want to put this icon in a tag. So our menu is now visible. When we click it, it switches to the close and the bar. Let's make this better. In here, we want to give this a text of Excel. Okay. We also want to give this a focus of outline, should be none. Above the tablet, it should be hidden. We don't want to see this on our web, view. It should have a cursor of pointer. Okay, yeah, that's good. Now we have that running. We want to display the menu. So this div is going to have a class name. You say backtick. You say above the tablet view, it should be hidden. If it's on the mobile view, you should check if the menu is open. If this menu is open, it should have a styling, else it should be hidden. In here we want to have the menu, so we head over to our header because we just want to copy the nav link there and replace as the menu. So we copy from this link to this other link. After copying, head over to our menu and paste that. Make sure you import link from React router DOM. Now the link is imported. We want to also add a button for our menu. So we head over back to this header, grab this button for the login, copy, paste it in our menu. Now this is pasted. Let's check how our menu is doing. And to me, I feel our menu is doing just great. So what I want us to do is to style this menu. So guys, I made my screen larger so we could see what we are doing in the menu. I'll open this menu over here so you could see how the styles are being added to the menu. So first of all, I want to give this a BG of black. Then this should have a position of absolute. Now the absolute, it should have a width of 4. It should also have a left of 0. I wanted to have a pattern of 6 basically, and then a margin top of 14 because it's kind of overlapping the header. Afterwards, I want it to be displayed in flex. The flex direction should be column, and after the flex direction is column, the items should be center. I actually don't want the text to be select. I want the text to be pure white, and the text size should be LJ because there's no UL here, so I think it's wise enough to change all this to a ptag to remove the text decoration. I also want to give this a gap of 4 And that's just it. Our menu is done. I'm changing this margin top to top instead. Yeah, it's better now. You can close your menu and open your menu. Now that is done, we want to now create the last section, which is the plan section. I'll just copy this up and head over back to my code. Here in the home, we go to the subscription, and in our subscription, the JSX, we want to have our header and our paragraph. So we say the h1 and the paragraph. So I'm going to be pasting what I copied here. Cut the paragraph, paste it here. This h1, I'm going to give it a class of text center. SM should be 1/2. MX is auto, and MY should be 14. Check our browser. It's not visible now because the text is yet to be white. Go back here. Actually, this class is not for the h1, my bad. It's actually for this div right here. The h1 actually has a text XL for small screen. Above small screen, it has a text of 3XL, text of white. For the paragraph, it should have a text of slate 200. Let's see that. Okay, I want to give it big spaces between this section, so you want to say empty 20. It has a space now. You also want to create a div that will house the subscriptions. So we say subscription plan. The map, and we are mapping a plan. This is going to be for our function. And what we are mapping is something called subscription card. Close this up. Now we actually don't have a subscription card, and I want to create one here. So you say const subscription card is equals to this plan that we got from above. As equals to plan. Create a for arrow function again. And in here we want to return the elements of the subscription plan. So say return parentheses and have a div inside. In the subscription card, we say key is equals to plan.id and plan would be equals to plan. So we don't have a data for the subscription yet. So this is coming from nowhere. We head over to our data, create the last data. Say subscription. As usual, we need to head over to my GitHub repository to get the plan. So you go over to the data, subscription.js, and copy this export. After copying this export, you come over here and paste it. You can actually pause this video if you don't want to grab it from my GitHub. But I suggest you definitely just grab it from the GitHub. Close this because we're not using them anymore. Now we need to import the subscription plan, this one in particular, from subscription. So you say import. Let me just paste this instead. Now we're getting that from the subscription.js. Let's just add some, stylings to this card to make it perhaps much more better. So in here, I want to have an empty div. In my empty div, I want to have a div. And in this div, I want to have a h2. This h2 should have the plan name. Which is being gotten from the store. Give it the styling of text. Should be 2XL and text as white. Head over back to the browser and you could see that it's bringing out three cards: the basic, the pro, and the enterprise. You would like to go over here and make this a grid. So in here, say grid. Gap should be 8. The largest screen should have a grid of column 3. That means it should have 3 columns. Now we have a grid. You come here. It gives us a relative position. It should have a border. The border should be slate 500. It should be rounded. LG. Have a pattern of 6. Cute. We also want to give this a background color of slate of 800. Better. But we want to give this a BG opacity of 25. Nice. A shadow of LG. And when you hover upon it, we want it to scale 105. There. It should have a transition. And the transition should be ease out. That way when we hover upon it, it looks like it's coming out. We want it to transition slower, so you say duration of 300. Everything should be in flex direction of column, and it should be justified between each other. Now that is done, you head over to this div and give it a class of text. Should be center. Give this a P, and this P is for the plan description. This P should have a text of awesome. Text should be slate 200. Margin bottom of 4. W should be 3/4. And then MX of auto. Let's check how the description looks like. Perfection. After that, beneath this P, we want to have other elements like the pricing, etc. So in this P tag, I want to have a span tag. In my span tag, I want to have the plan duration. That's how many months. So it's a plan dot duration. In here, I want to have the plan price. That's the price of the particular plan that the person is choosing. Good. This, I want to give this a class. It should actually appear a bit smaller than the price, so it should have text sm. Text should be slate 200. Yeah, I want to give this text, a very large text of 4XL for font size. Font weight is bold. Text should be green, and it's 500. And a margin Y of 8. Let's check that out. Cute. It looks very good. Now we're done styling this particular div. Head over here. I have another div, and this one is for the plan detail. So plan dot detail dot map, and what we are mapping is a detail. So it's a detail and an index. You create a for function, and in this for function, you're gonna have a div. This div is going to contain plan details basically. So we are going to have a check circle icon. So you say var right check circle. Don't forget to import that. Here you want to have a p tag which have a detail. Check that out. Okay, it's visible. It's nice. Looks good already. In this div, I want to have a class name of margin bottom should be 4, a h of 52, a text of slate, and it's 200, not 300, 200. Here I want to have a key of index and a class of mb2. Flex items should be in the center and a gap of 2. Looks good. Flex item center, gap of 2. For this check circle, I wanted to have another color, so say text should be green, 500. In minutes here, I want to have a button. So it's a button. Here I say choose plan. This button, which has a class of full, BG of green, $500. Text should be white. Padding white should be 4. Rounded should be LG. Let's speed that up. Okay. Then I have a hover. When you're hovering, I want the background to be transparent. I want to have another hover again for border. Another hover for border. Color should be green, and it should be 800. Let's hover. Nice. Lastly, we want this text to change to green when we hover. So we head back actually and say hover once more and turn this text to be green. 500. Very much officially done styling this home page. And it is very much responsive on the small view. If you are watching at this point, I want you to support my channel by liking my video. We want to create another page for create. This page would be named create and is for creating movies. So in my pages, create a file. RAFCE. After that is done, go over to my app.js, duplicate this, change this one to create, make sure you import it. Here I'm saying create. Let's check our browser and make sure that our create page is working. So we want to add our layout to our create page. Let's get it ready. I'm seeing an error on the footer. It's not actually an error, but it's just the way it's placed. This should be flex. Gap. 4. Okay, better now. Close this up, head back to our create. So in our create, we want to create a form where we could literally just upload videos and etc. So let's have a div, and this div should have a class name of flex. Now we need to have another div inside this div, and this div needs to have a class of bg gray 800. It's also going to have a bg opacity of 75, a border, and the border color should be slit 500. The width on the smaller screen is full, but above the tablet the weight should be 2/5. It should have a P4, a rounded of XL, and a text of slate 200. So look at it right here. Head over back to this parent element, give it a flex of column, and give it a justify center. You should also make this width full in case it's not full in some views. So in here you want to have a div for literally uploaded. So here you just say div all we want to be creating is this to upload video, then upload poster. We want to create a state for the files that will be used. So you say files and set files. Is equals to use state. And in this case, what is going to be accepting, the kind of files that we are going to be setting, is an image, empty string, and a video, empty string. You want to put a comma here to stop this error. We create another one for movies, movie detail. To store the movie detail. Add an S here, which is equals to use state. I'm going to bring in the properties of the movie detail. The first detail we have in here is a name, empty string. Second movie detail we want to have here is an image. Leave that to be empty as well. The third one is a video URL, which is going to lead us to the particular video for each movie. The fourth one is the background. The fifth one is the genre. Sixth is the duration. Seventh is the date that this movie was released, which is the release. 8 is the rating of the movie. There's an error here. I used a semicolon. It should all be in columns. Lastly, it's the language that the movie is, basically spoken in. Afterwards, we want to create another one to handle the selected movies. Say handle select file, its name and value, create a function, say console, and what we want to be logging out is the name and the value. We also want to set the files to prevent it from keep rendering after you've done uploading. Say prevent details. Here is for name. Value. Now let's put all of this into use by creating the inputs that we are going to be using to upload this movie. Firstly, we'll be needing two components. One is uploader, the other one is uploaded. So let's create the uploader. Go over to my components, close this up in my shared, say uploader.jsx, and this one is uploaded.jsx, RAFCE. In my uploader, close this here up as well, and as well as this. So for this uploader component, we'll head over to my GitHub to copy this component. Shared uploader, and copy this up down to here. Replace. After that is done, you head over back to create. On my create, I'm going to be bringing the uploader component in this div, and I imported it above. Okay, so our uploader component is working. I'll head over to my uploaded and do the same. Go over to GitHub, uploaded, copy this, and paste. So for this uploader component, I'm going to be explaining each line of code. What this uploader component does actually, it helps upload videos less than 100 MB. Let me check out this video. And what this poster does, it helps upload images, the same way the other one help upload videos. Let me use a dummy image for this. It helps upload images less than 2 MB. It helps upload images less than 2 MB. This is the video that we would be playing, and this poster is like the image itself that's going to be representing the video. For example, this is a poster, this is a poster, this is a poster, and when you click on the poster, it's going to lead you to the video that has been created. This will be for the naming, the genre, the language, the duration, the release, the rating, which are all in the data of our movies. They are all stored up in the data of the banners and the posters as well. So let me move you through the explanation for the codes on this uploader component. In this uploader component, we would be receiving some props which will be used to customize the behavior of the component. We are receiving the type of file, the size of file, etc, name, etc. Then we are initializing a state variable for files, which we are setting it up to an empty array. The set files is for updating the files, and it also keeps track of the selected files. We are going to have a file remover function which clears the selected files by setting files back to an empty array. This is to, like, if you want to remove the files after uploading, it clears it. For example, on here, when we upload our images or videos, this function actually removes the file and sets it back to 0 or an empty array. The open file explorer function, so this here, right here, it handles opening the file explorer, which we could see once we click on here, it opens our file explorer. It also handles the name of the image, the type of the image or video, and the size of the video. The handle file sections will be triggered when the user selects a file. Event.currentTarget is used to get the file input element that triggered the event. Target.files is accessing the files selected by the user. This right here also, it checks the file exceeds the allowed size. The file.size gives the file size in bits. The size times 1024 times 1024 converts the size limit in MB to bytes. If the file is too large, it alerts, which is this alert that says file size must be less than this size, the stated size. The onFileSelect file calls the callback prop with the selected file, while the setFile file updates the file state with the selected file, wrapping it in an array. This right here modifies the event listener, and this right here temporarily adds hidden file input to the document body so that it can be used. Then lastly, this file inputs.add event listener. After the file input changes, it removes the input element from the DOM to clear it up. This right here checks if there is no file selected. If there is no file selected, it should have this box that says upload video 100 MB max. Well, if there is a selected file, what it does, it displays the video or image, which is it displays this video, or if it's for a poster, it displays the image. It's also going to have this icon that shows a cloud of an upload, It's also going to show this cloud that shows an upload icon right here. Then it's going to have this button here, which we are going to be using the remove file function to close the image, to remove it if we no longer want to upload that particular video. Then this uploaded, it shows the image uploaded. This uploaded function shows this image uploaded. It also shows if the type is a video, checks if it's a video or if it's an image, because this uploaded function can go both ways. It can either upload images or videos. So this uploaded function upload images and videos, and the uploader function is what triggers after these images and videos have been uploaded. This is what it shows. It shows the uploaded images and videos so that the user could be sure of what exactly they are uploading. You also have this fat trash once more to remove, whatever video or image we're uploading if we do not want it. Now I'm done explaining the uploader and uploaded components. Let's head over here and make pretty good use of them. Let's bring in all the functions that we'll be using. Let's create a function that checks if all the fields is filled. That's it, checks if all the inputs and whatever is filled up. If not, it's going to, stop us from submitting unfilled forms. It checks for white spaces actually. So you say object dot values. It's a custom movie details dot every value, and then here you say value dot trim not equals to an empty string. So what this does is it checks if the fields in the movie details are filled by trimming white spaces, ensuring that none of the values are empty. Let's create another function, and this function is to handle form submission. So you say const handle submit, handle submit is equals to an async function, checks for an event. It actually is checking for a submit event. Event dot prevent defaults. This event dot prevent defaults prevents the default form submission behavior from submitting and submitting if it's not yet triggered. This function here we say is all fields filled, and when we are checking for it, we need to return an alert. Here we're checking if the form is filled. If it's not filled, we say please fill in all movie details. After we have checked if all the form is filled, and if it's not filled, we are asking them to fill in the movie detail. We want to console.log the movie details. Reset form is to reset the form if it's submitted already. We also have more functions to add to this code. We want to have an input change handling function that updates the movie detail state when the user types into an input field. So here we say const handle input change. It's an event. To update the form when the user is inputting the details. So you're checking for the name and the value, and we are targeting them with the event.target. We want to set the movie details to the current thing that the user is inputting. Say previous details. We're setting it to a new one. You say previous details. Checking for the name and value. So this sets movie details. It updates the state when the new value for the corresponding field is changed. We'll also have another function to handle the URL mount. This function updates the URL of the uploaded files for both the video and the image, which is for both the video and the posters. So you say handle URL mount is equals to name and value, and you set it. Set movie details. Again, you do the same thing. Prevent previous details. Our function. Previous details. Name value. So this is similar to this handle input change. If you notice, this is actually the same with this, but specifically it's for setting the URL after a successful upload. Afterwards, we want to reset the form state back to the initial empty values when we are done uploading. So it's a const set set movie details to empty strings actually. So you say name, it's an empty string, and then you just pretty much copy these guys over here and you paste it below and the name. There you go. I would want to create a function, and this function is to render the uploader component based on whether the movie is set or not. Movie details dot video URL. We're checking if there is a movie, and we want this uploader function to be visible when the person has uploaded a movie, and when the movie is done uploading, we want to bring the uploaded we want to import this uploaded. We change this to uploaded. In this uploader, I would like to bring in my values, and here we say name would be equal to video, type would be equal to video mp4. We're setting the type to be a video. Size, here is where we set the size. We wrote the uploader component to be 100 MB or less. Then we say on upload success, it should bring in a response, and this is responding if the uploaded component is uploaded. You say handle new URL mount, and we are setting the video URL to the current one uploaded, and say response dot URL. Here you say the file that's selected, file, you're going to handle the selected file to be the video that has been uploaded, and here we just bring in the file. So what this does is it helps you go into your file explorer to select the current video. So this is our upload video component, and we head over here to upload a video that's 100 MB. So this video is uploaded. For the uploaded, we want to set this to name. We want to set the name to video like it was. You want to set a file to files.video, and when you are removing the video to set it to an empty video, you want to say handle URL mount, and here we are setting this video to an empty string. This is for removing the video. We want to set the current video that we just put to empty using this handle URL mount. So here we could click this and it's working. Let's create this upload poster to be uploading our posters. Below this div and the create file, we want to copy this and duplicate it. Close this one up. Here, because the poster is an image, we would change this to image. Afterward, here we'll change this video to poster. This should be image slash. Here would be PNG. This is creating multiple type of image files can be used. Here would be JPEG. We want this to accept images such as the ones that are JPEG, PNG and JPG. The size should be 2 MB because some images are quite less in sizes than videos. Here we'll say on upload sources should have a response. Handle mount URL. Here is not a video, you say image response.url. On file selected file and the selected file for image, not video file. Then for uploaded, the name should be poster, the file should be image, and lastly this place is going to be image as well. Okay, they look good already. Let's test this. Let's upload an image less than 2 MB and our image is showing, and we can also delete our image. Let's close this too. So now this is closed. We want this to appear on a line, a straight line. So we would like to give this div that's housing it a flex. Justify would be between. Items is center. Space x2. And width is full. Let's check that out. Okay, looks good. We would also like to give this div a class of flex. Flex direction, it should be column. items is center, justify is center, and everything here should have a gap of 2. We close this up. Now we want to have our form, which would be used to create this movies. Here we say on submit should be handle submit. Give this a class name of width is 4 and margin top is 4. Afterwards, we need to have a div inside, and this should have a class name of mb4. And afterwards, we need to have a label, and the first label we're going to have is name. This HTML4 would not be needed yet, so we just remove this. I have a class, give this a block, text is small, awesome, font is medium, text slate 200, margin bottom should be 1. We want to have an input, and the type should be text. In here, we also want to have other values aside the input type, and the next one is going to be for name. It's name, placeholder should be the name of a movie like Batman Return. The value is movie details dot name. On change is going to be handle input change. This is going to be checking for the name while you're inputting and making a change to it. Class name is w4, p is 2, bg gray 700. Let's check it out. Looks good. We want it to have a border, and the border is slits 500 rounded. It should have a text sm. Okay, it's good. Now there are some mistakes I'm noticing here. Starting with this is actually one big function. It contains both this and this. Also, there's a misspelling here. This is supposed to be E, not A. Now we're done with that. We want to have a div, and it's this one. You want to have a div, and in this div we want to have another div. This div, we are going to be copying this up and pasting it here. This is for January. January. Here we will say action, and here we would like to say January once more. We would also add the required attributes to this. We would give this a width of 4 and check that out. So here we can see our January. We want to add another to the side of this January, which is language, and we're going to duplicate this. Give it spacing. Here we say language. Here is language. Copy it. Here we say English. Here's language. Okay. For the parent div, I would like to give it a flex. Justify between items center space x is 2. And lastly, it's going to have an MB4. Check it now. Looks good. After we're done with the language, beneath this div here, we're going to have another div, but the div is quite similar. Duplicate this up. Would like to close this one and possibly this one, giving the spacing. And for this one, we want to say duration. Here's duration. Copy this. Here is 2 hours 17 minutes duration. Leave it at required. Then for this one is for release. Name is going to be release. Copy this. Here's 2020. This will be release. Check it out. And we want to have a last one here because they are actually 3. The last one is rating. So here we change this release to rating. Rating. This is for PG. Parental guardians. Rating. Check the last one. Looks good. We would like to close this big div up and have another div for the background. So we close this up. Copy this first div. Paste beneath here. This place we say background. Here is for background. Copy this up. This background. We write synth fees of movie. Here we replace this with the background. Handle import change, and it is not required. Below this I want to have a small tag Here we say keep all inputs short and simple. Here we have a class. Make it a text. Wait, 400. Check it out. Cool. We would like to have a button that checks if all the fields of the form is filled. So I say is all the field of the form filled, and pass and we want to bring in a button. The button is similar to the one we have in the subscription component. So I will copy this, close this up, paste. Here we say publish. Let's go right here. Upload a movie and go to the same place. Upload this image. Here's a Batman. Action, English, source, 2022, right to Guardian, and put in synopsis. Now we're done with this create. We close this up. We head over to pages and create an account. .jsx RAFCE. Also go over to apps.jsx and create a route. Account. Close this up. Check if our account is leading to a page. And it is leading to a page. So in our accounts, we want to create states to check if the movie is loaded, and to also save or bring in our loaded movies. That's like the movies we have stored in our account. We will create the first one, which is to check if our account is loaded, and if our account is loaded, we want to bring in the movies stored in our particular account. Say use state, and we set this to false, saying our account is not yet loaded, so it's just going to be false. Then this one is to bring the movies we have on the particular account. Set movies. Use state. I will set this to an empty array. We want to have a use effect. And what this use effect does is it fetches the movie when the account is loaded. Here we say const fetch movie data. It's an asynchronous function. And we also want to bring in some movie data that's just going to be there, whether or not, you know, the account is loaded. We just want to have dummy data for now. That's going to be there, and it's going to be coming from the posters, which is coming from the data.posters. dot poster, and the amount of dummy data that we would like to be using is 3. This is 0 and 3. It's going to bring in the first 3 data from the poster. We want to set movies to movies data. And we also want to set loaded to true. Search movie data, and here we want to end this with an empty array. In here we want to have a h3 that checks if our account is loaded. So it checks if our account is loaded. If the account is not loaded, it brings in a message that says, please connect your account to view your movies. Also, if the account is actually loaded and the movies is 0, that's if you have logged in your account and there are no movies, it's going to say you have no movies posted yet. And the last one is going to check if you actually have movies. That's if the movies.length is greater than 0, it's going to display your movies. This is going to be a question mark to clear the error. Afterwards, you want to give this h3 a text of slit 200. Text is LG and margin bottom is 4. So this movies data is not yet defined. We go back. And there is an error because here is movie data and here is movies data. So this is where it's defined. You come back and you can see your movies. Why is showing your movies is because we are bringing in 3 movies from the poster, whether or not the account is loaded, for just to see it, basically just to see how it's going to be displayed. Now we want to bring in the movies. We say loaded, which is going to fire when the account is loaded. Say ampersand parenthesis. You want an unordered list, and this unordered list is going to be bringing the movies. So it's a movies dot map, and what you are mapping is a movie arrow function, and we'll be grabbing this movie card from our posters because it is very similar to the one we want to use here. We paste, make this pretty. Here we say height is equals to H96. Let's check that out. We did not define the movie card, so we say import movie card from, and we are getting it from our components and shared folder, movie card. There are movies are displayed. We go over to this unordered list. We want to display this movie in a grid. So you say grid, then grid colon. It's one column we are showing for the small screen. Then everything above the small screen should show 3 columns. It's displayed in 3 columns. But anything above the larger screen should be displayed in 4 columns. Gap is 5, H is 4, items is center. Okay. Also, we would want to go over to this parent div right here. And in the parent div, we want to give this a flex of colon, weight is 4, and items is center. Now it's on the center. We are done with this account. Now that's done, we would like to create the last page, this page. When you've clicked a poster, this page that displays the video and plays it as well. Displays this video and plays it as well. In our pages, we would create a folder for movie. In this folder, we'll have a file for movie.jsx, RAFCE. In our app.jsx, you want to bring in the movie. Here say movie. Bring it from pages/movies/movie. Here we want to say movies slash slug, which makes sure we bring the exact movie that we want to be using. So after that is done, here first of all we want to bring in the slug. So you say const slug is equals to use params. We are bringing this use params up here, and we close this up. What this does is it is used to identify which movie detail it is to display. That is what the slug does. Afterwards, we want to create some states. The first one is for loaded, which checks if your account is loaded, and sets loaded. They are going to be equal to use state, and we are setting it to false. The second one we want to bring is movie. So you say const movie set movie. This one here holds the data for the selected movie, and we are setting this to null. The last one is const movies set movies. There's an error here. Remove this S. And here we are setting the movies to an empty array. This is to hold the related movies, which is the one right here, is to hold this related movies. Here we want to create a use effect that runs the code whenever the slug has changed. Say use effect and we want to fetch the movie data. So you say const movie data. This is an asynchronous function. And we want to write a function that finds the posters array that matches the current slug, which is also the movie data. So we say const movie data is equal to posters. We are grabbing the posters from data.poster.find, and what we are finding is movie. What we find in this movie slug, which makes sure it gets the particular movie data that we need, equals to slug. Then here we'll say set movie equal to movie data. What the set movie data does is it updates the movie state with the found movie data. We go over to bring in the related movies. You say const movies data is equals to posters dot slice, and we want to bring in just 3 movies for now. Then we want to set movie to movies data. What this one does is it updates the movie state when it updates the movie state with the related movie. Now we want to indicate that the data has been successfully loaded, so we say set loaded is true. After that is done, we bring in the fetch movie data, and here I say slug. So we want to create a function that handles the deletion of movies. I will say const handle submit is equals to asynchronous function. In this function, we check if not window dot confirm, which is a confirm message. The message says, are you sure you want to delete this movie? After it asks you the question, you want to return something, so you say return. And what we're returning is window dot location dot href equal to account. So this function is first shows a confirmation dialog, which is this one, asking you to confirm if you want to delete the movie. Then if the user confirms that they want to delete the movie, the function redirects to the account page. Lastly, we want to have a truncate address function, which truncates the address of the user. This address right here, the address is normally long, so we want to have a truncate function that truncates the user's address. Const truncate address is going to be equals to address here. I say const start length is equal to 4. Const and length equals to 4. Const address string equal to string address. Then here we say const truncated address is equal to backtick $, address string dot sub string, and here we want to have parentheses, say 0, start length in here, dot 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 $, address string dot substring parentheses address string dot length and length. Return truncated address. Here we want to have two divs. The first one is going to have a class of W full for small screen. Above the small screen, it should have a W of 2/3 and a space Y of 4. Yeah, we want to have this to be 1/3 because this space is actually more smaller than the viewing space. This space is for the related movies. You say H3 related movies. Yeah, this is a class of text LG. Give this div a class of text gray 200 so that all the texts are going to be visible because the background of this code is black. So if you don't give all of them a text color, it's not going to be visible. So you can see our related movies over there, and here we want to say loaded, and what we are loading is the movies. So we have a div here, and we would love to go back to our account, copy this loaded movies, just copy this up, close here, and paste. After that is done, you give this div a class of height because we want to have this scroll functionality. So we give this a height of 450 pixels and an overflow Y of auto. Here I would like to keep it simple, so you say flex is column, gap is 5, check the browser. So movie card is not defined, copy this up, import movie card from components, shared movie card. Okay, it's displaying our movie already, which is good. I would like to change the height of this movie to 40 to make it appear a bit fat or something like that, and we'll give this width 4 to take up the width 103. We close this up quickly, and in this div we would like to have another div inside. This one will have loaded as well, and we are checking for the data of the movie one is loaded. This should have a div as well, and in the h4 it should have loading. In this div we want to have another div, and in this div we want to have a h2 that contains the name of the movie. So here we say movie dot name. We also have a question mark here because we're checking if the movie is loaded. Then we have another one here, movie dot release. I want to give this a text of 2xl. Check it out. So it's having this movie already. I want to have my fast star here. I've imported it from React icons. Here I'm going to give this a class of text yellow 500. Cool. This component that has these two components over here, I would like to give it a flex, and flex will be flex column on smaller screen. Larger screen should be flex row. W will be full, and D should be justify between. Okay, let's go on give it an items center for small screen. Then for larger screen, items will be start. It should have a justify center for small screen. A space X of 6 above medium screen. Space X on small screen is 0. Space Y is 6. Gap is 6. Now that it's done, we open this back up and we want to give this div a flex. Saying flex item center, gap is 2 between these two. Here we have a mistake. I added the E and the gear is now visible. We go below this, have a div. This div will have a p tag with a class of text sm. In my p tag, I want to have the movie written, movie duration, and I also want to have the movie genre. You could see them right here: rating, duration, and the genre. I want to bring in my truncated address. So we just do this and say plus truncated address. This is movie. Checking for the user ID. Let's check. And there's our truncated address. The truncated address is coming from these posters. We actually have dummy truncated addresses that we added in the posters. We want to have a movie. In here, we want to bring in a div. This div we want to replicate this edit and delete. So we would have a span tag that has a class of w1. We also have a link tag. We are importing that from react.dom, and this link is going to have an icon of file edit. We are also importing that as well. It will have a span that says edit. We will also have a button below this that have an icon of file trash. Remember, we are importing it as well above. This will have a span as well and says delete. Check it out. Okay, we can see our edit and delete. This div here, we give this a class name of flex and gap of 4. For this link, we are linking it to movies / edit / the particular movie ID. And how we're going to know the particular movie ID is from the movie.slug. Here we want to give this a class name. Of flex. Justify should be start. Items would be center. Gap is 1, and text is green, 500. You can see the edit looks good already. Let's work on the delete. On the delete, this button should have an on submit and the submit. Class name is flex. Justify is start. Items between themselves is center. Space is gap 1, and text is red 500. We want to move this here, so the parent element that basically contains 1 and 2, we want to give this a class, and this class you want to say flex justify start. Gap is 2, items center. This div as well, you want to copy the same line of code. And put it here. I want to give this a different text color, which is text gray 400. Okay, it looks good. We close this div, and we want to have another div here that has the React player component. So here we want to have a loaded function that checks if the movie is loaded, and we want to bring in a React player, which we don't have yet. So we say npm I, and we are importing React player. Now that is done, we say React player, quickly import that. URL is equal to movie dot video URL, weight is 100%, and here I would like to set the weight so that it's going to take this weight. So here I'll say width is full, height is 450 pixels, rounded should be 2XL, overflow is hidden, and this should be relative. Let's continue here. Say height 100%. We want to give this a class of absolute, top is 0, left is 0. Let's check it out. Okay, this is plain, but we are not yet done. Bringing in the properties, we say controls, set that to true. View it now. You can see the controls, and this video is playing. You say playing, should be set to true. Sorry, playing is false. And preloaded is none. Remember, this video right here is available in the assets, which is this demo video. This demo video is coming out from the poster, which is this video URL that has been set or brought from the assets demo video.mp4. Beneath here, I want to have a P tag. This P tag is for the movie background, which tells us a little bit much more about the movie. Class name is text, gray, 400. The background of the movie is visible. So guys, we are done creating the player for this movie. Lastly, we want to create a page for editing this movie. In here, we want to grab this and bring it to our apps.js. So you bring in one last route, and this route part would be what we copied. Element would be edit. Close this up. Here you want to make sure that the edit goes to the particular movie. And let's check that out. This edit was going to be very much similar to our create function. So in this edit function, first I'm going to say const slug would be equal to use params, which helps us fetch the particular movie based on the ID. Make sure you import use params. You say here const movies, is set movies. Here we're going to set it to use state, and we say none. We are not bringing in any movies yet. Then here is for file. Say const files, set files. It's equals to use state. Image. And video. Now we want to create a use effects function which helps us fetch the movie, the particular movie that we want to edit using the slug. So in here we say const fetch movie data. Make this an asynchronous function, and we say movie data is equals to posters, which we are importing here, dot find the particular movie that we want to edit. Say movie, another arrow function, say movie dot slug. The slug helps us find the particular movie based on the ID, and we're saying slug so if no movie is found, the function returns early, preventing further code execution. That's what this one does. Why for this line? This line is the line that finds the movie data from this poster array that matches the current slug. So now we want to update the states if there's no movie data. If say set movie details, and we want to set that to movie data. So what this set movie details does is it updates the state of the movie details with the fetched movie data. And we want to create another one, that updates the movie with the same movie data. So let's update the state of the movie with the same movie data. So it says set movie to movie data. Now that is done, we want to have some other functions as well for handling the selected file, whether it's an image or a video. I want to handle selected file. Now what we are handling first of all is the image. So you see image. Here is movie data dot image. Afterwards, we want to duplicate this down, and here we want to update or handle the video URL. Here is movie data dot video URL. So what this function does is it updates the movie data, like it handles the file that has the image URL from the movie data. It updates this image. This one similarly, it updates the video if you want to, maybe change the video that you have already uploaded. Then finally we want to fetch this movie data. Say fetch movie data. It's a function that's called and when we have fetched this movie data, we are setting it to slug. This effect is closed by this slug as its dependency. This ensures the effect runs every time the slug changes. Afterwards, we want to be copying some codes from our create. So we head over to create, because this create is kind of very much similar to the edit. First of all, we want to copy this beneath here. We want and copy this handle selected file. We go beneath this and paste it here. Want to paste it. After copying that, we want to head over to our because we don't need it anymore. After copying the handle selected file, we want to copy is all fields field. So we copy this and paste here. Afterwards, we want to copy the handle mount URL. After that, we want to copy the handle input change and also this handle mount URL. Lastly, we want to copy handle submit from this place. Paste it beneath here. But for the handle submit, we would be changing some details in it. So in this handle submit, we would like to make this a function, and it's going to return some fields are empty. Afterwards, we want to console.log the movie details, and we are removing the reset form from here because we are not resetting any form. Head over to the create, close this div and copy everything here. Paste. Head over to the top of the div. After this div, we want to have a link tag that links us back to the movie page. So in this link tab, we say here back to movie. Here it's going to say to movies. Movie dot slug. We want to give this styling as well. So it's a class. Margin bottom should be 4. Text is green. 500. That is it. This is a mistake. It's supposed to be movie, not movie. We confirm if this link is coming from the route to DOM. This movies is not being used, so we kind of want to check it out on this use effects. So here there's an S, and here there's no S. So we want to remove this S because it's just one movie, and this S as well. We want to find where this is. So here we're setting movie, and let's view. So there are errors, layouts, uploader and uploaded are not, defined. So let's define them. Say import layout from layout component, import uploader, import uploaded, head over to account, click on a movie, click on edit. So guys, it's not viewing on our browser. Let's check our app.jsx. As you can see, there was an error. I forgot to add this / here, and I got this part from our movie. This is where I copied it from, so we're gonna add a / there as well. Close this up, and the URL is wrong. We go back to the movie page and click on edit again. So it has an error saying valid.trim is not a function. I think it's coming from here, so I think I should close this place up. I'm also going to comment this one. Comment this and comment this. So our edit is working. You can see the image and the video, and so have you. This back to movie is supposed to be on top of here, so we get over here and check why it's not on top. This is supposed to be a flex column, so we change this justify center to flex col. And we want to add item center. Okay, it looks better now. So we are officially done. We can't publish this edit because backend have not yet been added to this code. Neither can we delete, these videos. We can't also create videos after filling the form because the backend has not yet been applied to this code. The back end of this code is already available on YouTube. That's the part 2 of the series. This is actually only for the front end of the series. The back end, where Solidity has been applied, it's already running on YouTube. The playlist is actually there. You should search for Dark Mentors. I'm also going to be adding the description below, and you should check for his latest playlist, the Sia Blockchain. That is where you're going to find the back end and continue this code. This is a Solidity tutorial for Sia, and that mentor is going to take you through the part 2 of this tutorial. So I'm done coding the front end part 1 of this tutorial. Thank you for stopping by to watch my video. I encourage you to support me by liking my work and following my growing YouTube channel. I'm gonna see you on the next one. I remain Code Duchess, and goodbye.